Welcome back to the Gentleman Bon Vivant. Gerri and I are on our way to browse the Saturday Farmers Market here in the square, which is just a few steps away from our flat. It's become a routine for us. All the freshly grown veggies, along with the meats from local butchers, and a veritable smorgasbord of deliciousness from the cheesemongers, makes this an amazing weekly experience. But, and this is the big thing, this evening we are going to a dinner party with some friends in the area. So, from here, we will walk over to the parking garage and set out on a quest to find the perfect bottle of scotch to give our hosts tonight, along with the traditional bottle of wine, of course, as a thank you for the invitation. And this seems like a perfect segue into our topic, the Gentleman Bon Vivant and dinner party etiquette. Etiquette? Etiquette.
Etiquette.
Specifically what to take to the dinner party and really what to leave at the dinner party. In other words, if you bring a bottle, you need to leave the bottle. And this gets caught in the collective craws of so many, so we have decided to deep dive this particular subject, which is exactly what we will do when we return home this afternoon. But for now, there's a certain smoked Gouda, or in German, geräucherte Gaute, calling my name, and a savory sweet currywurst calling Gerri's. We'll see you back at the flat in a bit for the discussion. Bis bald. Ciao. So we've made it back from the farmer's market, and yes, it was quite nice. Good footage that we were able to capture out there, but what does it really show? It shows delicious, fresh produce, very friendly local farmers and their agents selling it, the meat, cheese.
It's like a true farmer's market. Like you
It
get your
is.
meats, your cheeses, your bakery items, your eggs, your produce,
And
your
it,
spices, your flowers.
and I don't think people, if you're not familiar with Germany, you may not be aware of just how agriculturally centric it is here. I mean, it's basically one giant farm that grows grapes, and then for wine, and then
And asparagus
lots of
and strawberries.
lots of giant asparagus, lots of strawberries. Yes, but yeah, what isn't being used to grow asparagus or wine is they grow what they eat, and the folks are really amazing. Um, it is quite nice. The um, but anyhow, so yeah, I mean, it's just believe it or not, people think of Germany. I don't think they really think of it as being so farm, culture, right? But it really is. Of course, you don't really see like F-250s pulling a wagon or something around out here, a trailer. I mean, it's we literally seen
BMW wagons.
farmers driving BMWs with a trailer hitch, wearing a Rolex and earrings and a ponytail. And I do believe that was it was a Versace shirt we saw in the one fellow that got out of his car and was unhitching that little bitty wagon on his ranch. So it's a different culture, but it is very much a rural culture outside of the cities, and everyone in the city can't wait to see those who grow and make what they eat bring it to town on Saturday mornings. And so it's a real pleasure for us.
Wonderful experience. I love it. I look forward to it every week.
It really is. And so anyway, we then made our way over to the Globus to find a decent scotch for our dinner party tonight that we're going to. Gerri has since gotten ready for the evening, and I still need to take my evening shower and get dressed myself. So I'm the lazy one.
You look great.
You're so kind.
And you're so smart.
Oh, shucks. Okay. I'm still hungry. I'm still hungry.
You're so pretty.
Now I'm full. Thank you. Now I'm full. Got it. And today I'm having an aviation cocktail, but I've replaced the fruity liqueur, usually a champort or something like that. I replaced it with the crème de cassis de Dijon, and it is fabulous. So I highly recommend it. But when we went to Globus, we were able to get some really decent footage of the area. I mean, this is a grocery store in Germany. And if you're from the American South or anywhere known as the Bible Belt, you're not going to be used to seeing this much. In that there's liquor, literally every liquor available in every grocery store. If you're up in the north, northeast, over on the East Coast and certainly on the West Coast,
In New
fine.
Orleans.
Right, exactly. But when you're here, it's much like being in New Jersey or New York. It really is. I mean, you just go to the grocery store and get whatever you want. I really like that. But nevertheless, I think the one thing that I could point out though is the Jack Daniels, or excuse me, the Johnny Walker Black Label, €25 for a bottle. That's roughly $28 today's money. Today, this exact day's exchange, currency exchange. So um, yeah, those of you back in the States, eat your heart out. But I always have a bottle of Black Label here because it's so good and it's so cheap. And by the way, if you spend more than to €10 on a bottle of wine here, you're getting a really, really nice bottle of wine. It is all just so very good. But we're talking about what is the obligation of a gentleman when they bring a gift to a dinner party. Now, we know a bottle of wine is a given, right? I mean, we're going to inquire as to what is going to be on the menu, and we will try to bring a bottle that will pair with that menu well, um, because we're going to expect that it will be drank that evening. Though it's up to the host, right? I mean, the host may just
Yes.
squirrel it away.
They may already have their
They may have
wine
it set.
chosen for the night.
They may be like us and they build out a menu and everything's been
Yeah.
exactly. But how many times have you seen? I mean, would anybody ever give somebody here's a new iPad, I've been thinking of I've been saving up for a couple of months and I just want you to have this iPad. And then at the end of the day, before they go home, they take it back with them, right? Like, I mean, like that wouldn't make much sense to me. And I think the same goes true, right? Especially if you bring a bottle of scotch or bourbon or a high-end gin, some spirit.
Well, and especially if you're taking it like it's a gift or whatever.
Sure, exactly. Or you're just bringing it along. Say you didn't say it's for a gift. You just want to drink this scotch while you're there. You still brought it to their home. Why would you take that with you when you left? I mean, it could be perceived as a gift. It seems, what's my favorite word? Gauche. It seems gauche. I mean, it just seems, don't do it. Don't leave with the body. But yet, I have been to countless parties where I've seen this very thing happen. Now, let's take a dive back into the memory lane swimming pool. Gerri and I had been married for just a couple of years, and I was finishing an English degree in Fort Worth, and I had a professor come over for my birthday. I think I was turning 20 or 21. It was a big deal, and he came over.
A baby.
Well, we got married early. I mean, I was 12, but she was 13, so we were legal in our Kentucky. But we're from Texas, so
all
we had
right.
to work that out with the judge. But so I had this professor come over. He's like, "No, I'm going to give you and all your friends that come over a presentation on hidden symbolism in advertising." And so I thought it'd be great. And I was at the time hanging around with a bunch of artists who worked in advertising and design. So I thought, well, they would enjoy that, right? And they were older, they were much more cultured. So I thought, why not? Let's have everybody over. So we had kind of this birthday shindig, and here comes Dr. M. We just say M. And he comes in and he has a big old bottle. It was like a specialty, like a half gallon or maybe it was even a gallon bottle of Glenlivet. It was like 24 years old, single malt scotch. I mean, really, I was drooling when I saw it. And it was this bottle he brought over. And he brought it to us, and we were excited. And he said, let's open it. Let's have a drink. And we all did. And we really enjoyed it. And then he proceeded to get completely drunk on that bottle of wine or scotch. And and then proceeded to tell us that he hadn't taken his, I think it was Librium,
No,
for a couple of weeks.
lithium.
Lithium. Yeah, that was one of the other. I don't know. You're the nurse. My doctorate is honorary. So, but I mean, I was literally, I was blown away. First of all, we were kind of accosted by the guy, right? Professed his love for me and all kinds of other weird things, and you kind of ruined the night for my wife. But then when he left that evening, he took that bottle of scotch with him.
It
I
was a
guess
big bottle.
well, I don't think his husband let him drink it home, and that's why he figured he better hang on to it. But nevertheless, it's just not cool to take a bottle of something to someone's house and then leave with it any more than you would take a pizza to someone's house and then take it home. Unless, of course, the host says, hey, uh, I don't want this crap in my kitchen. Get it out of here. But more politely, um, translated as, no, take the pizza with you. You'll need something to eat in the morning. I'm pretty sure you'll be hungover. I
Feed
mean,
your kids.
feed your kids with it. Your dog would love this kind of a thing, right? So it's not fit for human consumption. I mean, that kind of thing is always possible. But what are some alternatives, maybe? I mean, if you don't, first of all, if you can't afford it and you're going to feel like you need to take it with you when you leave, then maybe don't bring it at all. What would you say?
I think there are, first of all, some exceptions.
Okay.
If it's your family,
I
nobody
disagree.
cares.
I disagree.
Nobody cares.
Okay.
If your family, unless you're very formal, our families are not formal. So I don't
Okay.
think that matters. And if it's BYOB. But you can also take flowers, a side dish, or like a charcuterie, something to contribute for the night.
Something that you picked up at HEB on the way?
Well, yes. Maybe you can replate it. A candle, there are other things you can take as well.
Yeah.
A gallon of sweet tea.
Yeah. Everybody loves sweet tea. Yeah. So I don't know, but going back to the original point, maybe if it's friends and family, I can't imagine taking a bottle of something to my Mutti's house. Mutti, German for mom,
Mommy.
mama, mommy. Sure. It's a cutesy way to say mother. So Mutti, I can't imagine taking her, taking to her home. As when I'm there, I usually stay over for a night or two when I'm visiting Texas. So I do. I like to take stuff down there to them, right? A bottle of scotch for Fati, i.e., the reverse of Muti, or maybe something nice for my mother to have, right? But I can't imagine if I leave the next day or the day after, where's that bottle of prosecco that I bought? I mean, I can't imagine doing that.
That bottle would be gone.
God, well, first of all, whatever I bring over is going to be gone because we know how to party in my family. But yeah, I just can't imagine. So even with family, I mean, I would suggest that one of the things I think that you might want to.
I think you have to judge the situation. Everybody knows their own family. They're going to know what to expect.
Yeah. So, but I'm just saying, but in order to avoid any sort of eyes looking at you funny, like he just left with that, from someone who maybe isn't part of the family, doesn't know y'all's culture, your customs, your culture. Maybe just bring a smaller bottle of the good stuff that you want to share with people and save the bigger bottle for yourself,
and hide it then,
and hide it, right? Put it in your suitcase if you're staying over for the night or something like that, or wherever. And every now and then excuse yourself to your bedroom, right? Excuse me, well, I need to go freshen up real quick, powder my nose, and you just go in there and you're replacing the your empty glass with ice at the bottom with the scotch that you brought because it's so good, perhaps, right? But I think the idea is to maintain an image, right, and to be a giving sort, right?
I think you can be a giving. This is one of those things that we probably disagree on.
I think
if it's family, it's okay. You know your family. You know your family if they're going to think it's rude or not. Our families are not going to think something like that is rude. But I imagine that there are families out there that are like that, but we're all pretty close. So
yes, no, we are. We have close familial relations, yes, but no, I don't. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You
I totally agree. It's just that I personally would not, and I think that
And
a
that's
gentleman
okay.
should probably question that before they actually go to that party. With something that they treasure so much that they're gonna want to leave with it. Seems very strange to me. Just leave it. In fact, we Googled it. I'll see if we can find this footage here, let you see this. But literally, is it okay to leave with the bottle of whiskey that you brought to a party? And the very first thing that popped up was Cora, and it said, don't. Leave it, right? Just don't do it. Leave it behind. And I think that's probably a pretty good rule of thumb for a gentleman to consider. I don't know. But that's why I have someone here to keep me honest.
I just think if it's family, you know your family, and that's a different story. Going to a dinner party like tonight, that would be very different. And again, bringing back the BYOB, if you've been invited and it's BYOB, then I think it's acceptable to take whatever you bring back home with you, assuming you have any left, because most of the time people share anyway. So
you should hope, right? And it's a BYOB, so essentially your host is saying, "Screw you, I'm not going to give you anything."
Or that y'all are too expensive, so y'all can bring your own alcohol because it is expensive.
But even at a BYOB, I think I would wind up leaving it behind.
So we'll supply the setups.
Exactly, you can set up. So you brought some ice. Do you have any
$5 setups?
Do you have any Coke Zero or Sprite? Diet Sprite or anything that I can drink? No, all fully regular, fully sugared. Okay, great. So thanks for the setups. Well, you don't have ice? What are you, European? Yeah. I have my friends will come over. My European friends will come hang out and have drinks with us or just do whatever. And they'll always say, Christopher, do you have any ice? Any ice? And I'll be looking at them like, I'm an American. Do I have ice?
I'm actually surprised they asked for it.
I know, I am too. But when they ask for it, I'm like, I'm an American. Of course I've got ice. What's wrong with you? I mean, I got a fridge dedicated to ice, right? I mean, of course, because I'm an American. So yeah, I got that.
In the restaurant, you'll get like 2 little cubes.
Well, they don't want to rip you off. Of course, because they don't want to rip you off. They want to give you all the liquid that you have purchased. We're like, I don't want my money's worth. I want ice.
Yeah, if you're an American, they usually will know to ask you if you want ice.
Exactly. In fact, I've learned how to ask for ice in all kinds of languages. My time in Russia and Kazakhstan, I've learned how to say I know how to ask for more ice with my Czech and Coke. Czech and Coke Zero. Anyway, just a quick set of thoughts on the subject. I think it's something that people should really consider, especially when considering the ins and outs of what it means to be a real gentleman, right? I think the bottom line is I think Gerri is out. The jury is out on that. It's up to you. In my book, especially if it's family, but in my book, if you take it, it stays. Unless the host is like, get this crap out of here. Why would you ever bring Limburger cheese to my house? Get it out of my house. You're taking this home with you.
Or even blue cheese.
Yeah, so good. Anyway,
man.
So yes, as always, we'll see you next time. But I just want to close with our motto, right? Which is that there were many, 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 many times we had no money, but
we were never poor.
Never poor.
Never, never, never.
Ever poor. Always, always had an embarrassment of wealth. It just always wasn't equated to actual money.
Dollars.
Cheers. Euros.
Cheers.
Yen. Rupees. Rubles.
Pesos.
Lira. Marks. Francs. We're older. We remember those things. All right. Cheers.